Wind gusts and hail up to an inch in diameter. So although the biggest concern right now is the tornado warning, there are also a few other hazards. Now, let's take a look a bit further north as well. We're seeing a lot of rainfall. Now, thankfully, a lot of these areas north of Dane County could use the rain, considering that a lot of these locations are still under drought. But looking further south, some lighter rain around Janesville and also to the east. But as far as flooding concerns, the areas around Janesville up to Dodge County near the Rock River, that's where the biggest flooding concern is located right now. And this cell could track into that area, might stay off to the northwest. But once again, the biggest concern right now is that tornado warning, just adding a few other aspects of this entire system. We had one round of rain move through. It does look like there is going to be this second round of rain that could possibly produce a tornado. Once again, as Alex mentioned, this system is moving to the northeast, and where does that track? That would track right into Dane County. Now, here are some of the towns that will be impacted by it shortly, but we do expect to see this system continue to track to the northeast, which would push it right towards Madison. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean we're going to continuously have this tornado warning, but this system, it clearly is strong enough to possibly produce a tornado. So for those of you in Madison, I would say, be prepared for at the very least heavy rain. Now, thankfully, as Alex pointed out, we aren't seeing any strong indication of rotation on radar. Let's take a look at that once again. Zooming in, looks like there is, some gusty winds, no doubt, but thankfully most of the colors are green, which indicates not as much rotation. So that is the good news. Let's send it back over to meteorologist Alex Harrington for more.
Yeah, thanks, Jacob. As we recap, we have two warnings right now for Lafayette County. We have a tornado warned storm for Lafayette County until 8 p.m. Let's track where that is going to be heading off towards the north and towards the east again. I've been mentioning Wyoda here at approximately 7:47 p.m. Also updating here once we get past the 8 o'clock hour. If the warning continues after 8 o'clock, that would be the Blackhawk Memorial County Park. Get no indication right now of a tornado on the ground from our friends at the National Weather Service. We'll be taking another peek here in just a moment. Jacob Montesano also mentioned that there's a severe thunderstorm warning. That is for the line in and of itself. That is also moving off towards the north and towards the east. So that would put this entire line of thunderstorms, 7:35 p.m. Wolf Creek Campground, also Lamont, we mentioned before, and Wyoda at 7:51 p.m. And then Blanchard, and eventually off towards the north and east of there, would take it off towards Blanchardville if the storm does hold together. Just taking a moment here and looking, as Jacob was mentioning before, what we're looking for here with regards to the tornado warned aspect of the storm, we'd be looking at areas where we see green against red and tight areas where we see green against red. I see a couple areas of suspect here. I'll zoom in to a couple of those. One would be near Red Rock. So let me point that out to you. What we're looking at here, we're just at a spot where we have two radars that meet. This would be the La Crosse radar meeting the Milwaukee radar and the Davenport radar. So what we're looking at, though, is we have winds moving away from the radar against winds that are moving towards the radar. What you have there is what's called a couplet. I've mentioned this before. If you take a pen or a pencil and you put it between your hands and you move back and forth, that's exactly what's occurring in this part of the storm near Red Rock, just west of Wyoda. So if there is any suspect of rotation, this is what I'm seeing right now on radar over portions of Lafayette County. There are some other areas that we probably should take note of as well. So we're going to go just a little bit to the south of Wyoda here. A couple of areas of suspect notice. Again, winds moving towards the radar against winds that are moving away from the radar. This, again, is just south and west of Wyoda here by approximately 3 miles just north of U.S. Highway 11 as it moves off towards the north and towards the east here at a bit of a slower pace at about 20 miles per hour. These thunderstorms earlier tonight had been moving at a much faster clip. The thunderstorms that are currently over Lafayette County are moving a bit on the slower side. Then that severe thunderstorm warning that I was mentioning before that Jacob Montesano also mentioned is also in effect for Lafayette County. Let's see if we have any new updates on that right now. This again is radar indicated, meaning what we're looking at is the potential for damaging winds of 60 miles per hour. There is that potential, like we've been saying, of a brief spin-up possibility over Lafayette County. I'm going to just take a moment, Jacob, if you want to add some additional context. I'm going to see if we have any additional information coming in from the National Weather Service.
At the moment, we don't have any additional information, but I do want to point out some of the radar indicated wind speeds. Right now, right near Gratiot, we have 60 miles per hour, which is the severe thunderstorm warning. And that is beyond just the possibility of a tornado forming. So everywhere within the severe thunderstorm has the potential to see those wind gusts up to around 60 miles per hour. And the National Weather Service did mention when the warning came out to expect damage to roofs, siding, and trees. Again, that's the severe thunderstorm warning, not the tornado warning. So everywhere in the box, or at least everywhere that is seeing the rain and just to the east of that, could possibly be seeing those 60 mile per hour wind gusts. Once again, though, I want to point out this system just to the south of that, kind of tracking into Greene and Rock County. This system is also producing a severe thunderstorm warning. Can't rule out the possibility of it maybe even producing a tornado warning. If we take a look at the hazards, 60 mile per hour wind gusts, hail up to an inch in diameter. And as I've been talking about with the system that is producing the tornado warning, this could possibly track closer into Dane County. Now, it's a bit unclear as if the tornado warning will maintain, but this system is still capable of producing a tornado warning. So if we take a look at the track of this, it's going right towards Madison. Again, unclear if the tornado warning will stay intact, but this system is going to track into Dane County and affect a lot of people, big population center, obviously, with Madison. At the very least, we're going to see another round of precipitation. We just had some heavy rain. Looks like we're going to see more heavy rain at the very least. And obviously, this system, beyond a tornado, can produce wind speeds up to 60 miles per hour. And it was shown firsthand on the radar. Not seeing a ton of rotation. Alex mentioned there is a little bit, but not enough to indicate that there is a tornado on the ground. So once again, zooming further out, there is a lot of rainfall even beyond the severe thunderstorm warning and the tornado warning. Seeing plenty of rainfall north of Madison. My guess is a lot of this rainfall will not produce any warnings, but still we could see that second round of the storms that are producing the warnings continue to march up north and possibly create more warnings for parts of our area. I'm going to send it over to meteorologist Alex Harrington for more.
Yeah, thank you so much for your analysis there, Jacob. Just to repeat with the tornado warning that goes into effect, or is in effect rather, till 8 o'clock for Lafayette County. Again, this is radar indicated. Want to just call out, if you are in Lafayette County, this is not the time right now to be going outside. Right now, even though we do not have any indication or any reports of a tornado from the National Weather Service or from any storm spotters or EMS crews, now's the time to be in the center of the basement. If you don't have a basement, get into the interior part of your house, the furthest away from those outer walls of your house. You want to cover yourself with pillows, cushions, or blankets. And if you are in a mobile home, you need to get out if you have time and get into a sturdy shelter. If there isn't a sturdy shelter nearby, getting out and getting into the nearest ditch is recommended. If you are not at home right now, if you're out on the road, if you are perhaps doing any shopping over portions of Lafayette County, if you're in a vehicle, get out. Again, try to get into a sturdy building if at all possible. Last resort, get into a ditch and or in your car, buckle up. If you can get into the ditch, you want to be the lowest platform. You want to be at the lowest portion that you can be. So get down into that ditch is what we recommend. Public buildings, inside rooms, away from windows are best. If you have an opportunity to get into a store, a convenience store, what we recommend is small rooms. Those interior walk-in refrigerators have a tendency to provide that protection. I'm going to go back to that storm over Lafayette County. And again, I do want to just abundantly call out that we apologize for breaking into programming, but this is our protocol on Channel 3. No, it doesn't matter if the tornado warning is in Madison or if it's in Barneville or if it's in another community. It's not in Barneville right now, but we stick with the storm if they're tornado warned until the tornado warnings are dropped. So again, tornado warning, Lafayette County. This is radar indicated until actually it looks like this has been extended, that's the severe thunderstorm warning rather. It looks like the tornado warning here again until 8 o'clock at night, so no changes there with that. I wanted to make another note here, and I appreciate Jacob Montesano doing this as well, just widening out the view just to see what else is going on across the rest of southwestern Wisconsin and over portions of Dane County here. So this line of thunderstorms is moving off towards the north and towards the east here. we'll move into our Dane County proper map. And what we're also seeing just out ahead of this line of thunderstorms over portions of eastern Iowa County and northeastern and eastern Lafayette County, we're starting to actually see some other showers and some isolated thunderstorms popping up Mount Horeb, over to Fitchburg, over to Belleville, over towards Monticello. Why am I calling this out? When we start to see showers out ahead of a leading edge of thunderstorms that are severe, that can start to eat away at the environment, meaning the warm, humid air is taken up by some of those showers and some of those thunderstorms, which can then weaken the thunderstorms that are to the west, which we have, again, the tornado-warned storm and the severe thunderstorm-warned storm over Lafayette County. Let's actually take and put our future track on this here over the course of the next hour to see if it's giving us some indication where is this storm going to be going over the course of the next hour. I think it's doing a great job moving that line of thunderstorms, as Jacob was mentioning, from eastern Iowa County, Lafayette County, over into Greene County and then into Dane County as well. I'll actually zoom out a little bit further so we can see what the rest of southern Wisconsin will be seeing here, and then I'm going to turn things back over to Jacob. Jacob has some updates as well. So this line of thunderstorms here will continue to move to the east across the rest of southern Wisconsin, stretching from the Dells to Madison by the time we get closer towards the 9 o'clock hour. I'm going to turn things over to meteorologist Jacob Montesano for additional updates.
Yeah, thank you, Alex. If we take a look at the system, once again, this is the wind tracker. There's kind of showing two isolated locations that are producing some gusty winds just to the southeast of Darlington. Both indications showing wind speeds up to around 55 to 60 miles per hour. Looks like it just improved a little bit down to 46 miles per hour. But zooming in again, we're looking for that rotation. Green is wind going towards the radar. Red is wind going away. And thankfully, we're not seeing a huge indication of rotation, but these bright greens indicate very gusty winds. So even if there's not the tornado on the ground, we could still be seeing damage from the winds. And if we take a look, here's a look at the system right now, but I'm going to read what the National Weather Service has on the tornado warning. Flying debris is possible, and that could be very dangerous with possible damage to mobile homes, potentially even destroying mobile homes if a tornado is indeed going to form. And then once again, I've been talking about this, and for those who are just joining, we have a tornado warning in effect for Lafayette County until 8 p.m. And this system is tracking into Dane County. Still unclear as to if the tornado warning will hold, but nonetheless, at the very least, we're still going to see more heavy rain in Madison. We had that heavy rain earlier. Not terribly heavy, not as heavy as some other parts of our area. But again, the combination of the storm earlier and possibly this storm could produce some isolated flooding locations. I want to continue to remind everyone that just to the south of this, there is another severe thunderstorm warning kind of tracking into Greene and Rock counties. So for those of you in Monroe, possibly even as far east as Janesville, you could be seeing impacts from this system that's right now in northern Illinois. The system that's producing the tornado warning looks to maybe pass just the north of Monroe, but those of you north of Monroe could possibly be seeing this system track through your area. New Glarus especially should prepare for this system that's producing the tornado warning. But again, the second system in northern Illinois expected to kind of track into Greene and Rock County. And this system is not just expected to produce 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, but possibly hail up to an inch in diameter. So we could be talking about potential hail damage. Now, thankfully, those are both the lower end of severe criteria, but notice there also is a tornado possible with this system as well. Now, a lot earlier in the evening across Iowa, these storms did produce some pretty large tornadoes. Now, thankfully, they have diminished, but obviously still strong enough to possibly produce at least a small tornado, which is why the National Weather Service issued a tornado warning. And it looks like the severe thunderstorm warning has been extended to include portions of Greene County, Iowa County, and Dane County. 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts is the hazard. Now, this makes me believe that we may not see the tornado warning extend. The fact that they extend the severe thunderstorm warning, though, still indicates that there is still the potential for the 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts that could cause damage to roof sidings and possibly trees. And it doesn't look like there's going to be as much of a hail threat with this system, but again, still a tornado possible, as that is what is indicated with the severe thunderstorm warning. Now, once again, I want to zoom further out and show the scope of this entire system. Still producing plenty of rainfall to the north of Dane County, but a lot of these areas seeing these smaller showers, but even some pockets of heavy rain. Pretty much right now everywhere north of Dane County, likely not going to see that severe weather. Our focus right now is to the south and east of Dane County, as we do have a tornado warning and 2 severe thunderstorm warnings. One not quite in our area, but could track into it. Again, this is the one that we are concerned with right now in Lafayette County. Let's take another look at the wind tracker. Still seeing some pretty gusty winds, but still also not seeing a lot of rotation. Just some possible light rotation, but nothing to indicate a tornado, which is good news. Let's also take a look at the debris, and then I'll send it back over to meteorologist Alex Harrington. Yeah, it looks like there is a little bit of debris around Lafayette County, but when we're this far from the radar, and Alex mentioned a bit earlier, if you had been watching, we are kind of between 3 radars in this specific location. Southwestern Wisconsin can often miss out on some information because of location. So at this point, all the yellow you're seeing is some possible debris, but it also could simply just be dust flying. But again, I wouldn't take too much concern in looking at the debris simply because we are very far from a couple radar locations. Now let me send it back over to meteorologist Alex Harrington.
Yes, Jacob, thank you very much. I appreciate that. And also looking at that debris signature from your analysis, I would agree right now I don't see anything that's suspect of what we would call a debris ball, which would be an indication that there's debris lofted. And again, at this point in time, nothing from the National Weather Service in terms of rotation that has been observed in the clouds or a funnel cloud or a tornado. We have no reports of any of that at this point in time. This is just radar indicated. This just in, and thank you very much, meteorologist Buddy Reeves, for letting us know now a severe thunderstorm warning is in effect until 8:45. This is going to include counties of Dane, Greene, and Iowa counties. Radar indicated again, we do have the possibility of a spin-up tornado with this line of thunderstorms as it moves off towards the east at 60 miles per hour, or excuse me, off to the east at about 20 miles per hour, 25 miles per hour. The main threats from this would be winds in excess of approximately 60 miles per hour. That's going to put some of the communities, and it looks like we're getting an update there on our tornado warning as well, that's going to move off towards the north and towards the east. But the severe thunderstorm line in and of itself, and then we'll get to the updated tornado warning, that puts us in Browntown at 7:52 p.m., Dalyville Park at 7:54, Postville at 7:58, Monroe at 8:14, and Mount Vernon as we head towards 8:17 p.m. And it looks like we're getting more information here. These storms continue to be moving into an environment that has gotten a little bit more humid, has gotten a little bit warmer over the course of the past couple of hours here, post that first line of thunderstorms that has moved through. And I'm going to actually just take a moment here and we'll take a peek at this new tornado warning that has popped up across the area. Unless, Jacob, did you have some updates on that new tornado warning, or do you want me to?
Yeah, meteorologist Buddy Reeves was able to hand me the update from the National Weather Service, so thank you, Buddy. This is for parts of Lafayette, Greene, Iowa, and Dane, so it's kind of in that cluster. And if we take a look at the wind tracker, I just showed it, and it kind of has changed, I wouldn't say dramatically, but there is some small indication based on the radar that there is some rotation, and that just shows you how quickly things can change, because just 5 minutes ago, it looked like we were just talking about straight line winds, but that little spot of the mixture of red and green does concern me a little bit. Now, I still expect there not to be a tornado on the ground right now, but that indicates a possible funnel. And because the tornado warning was extended, it makes me believe that the National Weather Service agrees that the potential is definitely there. So let's take a look at closer at some of the communities that could possibly be impacted by the tornado warning. So zooming further in, again, the storm is moving northeast. Looks like Blanchard, Argyle, Perry. Again, after this, though, it's going to be heading right into Madison. So Mount Horeb, Fitchburg, Verona, you folks will see this storm first. And even if we don't see the tornado warning extended, but we at least have it extended until 8:45, still going to see plenty of rainfall. So again, for those of you, I hope everyone is staying inside. Even if there is a tornado, you won't be able to see it. We are pretty much after sunset, and it's getting pretty dark out. And even if it's not completely dark out, the clouds from the storm will likely make it so. So again, stay indoors. Try to get to the lowest, most interior portion of your home. Again, the possibility of a tornado is there, but at this specific moment, it doesn't look like there is one on the ground. But our area of concern looks like it's right around Argyle would be our area of concern. Not seeing quite as much indication on this round, but this the bright green you're seeing, kind of like the white, that is where some of the gustiest winds. Yeah, 64 miles per hour is reported. Again, right now our area of concern is right around Argyle, but nothing about this makes me think that there is actually a tornado on the ground, but could possibly see a funnel cloud. At this point, though, you know, we shouldn't worry too much about the fact that there isn't one on the ground right now, because the potential is there and these can spin up very, very quickly. I'm going to send it back over to meteorologist Alex Harrington, who has more.
Yes, thanks, Jacob. I just looked at our feed for the National Weather Service. There's no confirmation of a tornado, but you're spot on, Jacob, in my opinion, with your analysis of where, if there is the potential of rotation, it would be very likely near Argyle. And let me explain what's going on here. As Jacob and I have been mentioning, this part of southwest Wisconsin is pretty far away from radars. It's situated between three radars: La Crosse, Milwaukee, and Davenport. And what we're seeing here is we have strong winds that are moving in towards the radar. So these are those strong winds that Jacob Montesano was measuring at potentially upwards of 60 to 65 miles per hour. So there we see 48 mile per hour winds. Clear that off there and see if we can get any stronger winds here. 62 mile per hour winds just north of County Road Y. So this would be just east of Wyoda. These strong winds right now that are potentially being indicated by the radar by about 2 miles. So additionally, with the overall analysis, you have winds that are moving towards the radar, and then you have winds that are moving away from the radar. So this would be winds coming in from the south and southeast towards Argyle. So if we were to map that up with what Jacob and I are collectively thinking, there's probably the potential of rotation somewhere between the communities of Lamont, Argyle, Jordan. I'm going to just clear things off here and just zoom out just a little bit to get another track as this moves off towards
Hey, Alex, sorry to interrupt you, but why don't you refresh the wind tracker, because it looks like there's another update for that.
Sure, thank you very
there.
much.
There you
Thank
go.
you. Appreciate that, Jacob, with that update. I'm going to actually update my analysis here while we're live on air again. Very strong winds that are moving towards the radar. That would be near Argyle. And then you have winds that are moving away from the radar up towards Blanchardville. There might actually be two areas of rotation. You also have a small little spot near Jordan along 81 where winds are moving away from the radar. So there is the potential here for the possibility of two areas of rotation, a broader area of rotation up towards Blanchardville, and then a smaller confined area of rotation that doesn't look very strong at this point in time. That'd be between Argyle and Jordan on 81. So we do have, again here, let's just repeat what we have here with this tornado warning. For this extends for portions of Dane County. This would be the far southwestern portion of Dane County, northwestern Greene County, the extreme southeastern portion of Iowa County, and the northeastern portion of Lafayette County until 8:30 p.m. This is that extension of the tornado warned storm that has only been radar indicated at this point in time. That is over a little bit further to the south and west, and we're getting pretty close to 8 o'clock. So the communities of Wyoda, while the threat is not gone at this point in time, if there is a tornado that at this point in time be moving towards the north and moving towards the east over portions of far northeastern Lafayette County at this point in time. So I'm going to actually go back to our wind tracker product, and I'm going to just do additional analysis here. Again, we were mentioning that there may be two spots of potential rotation with this thunderstorm. One is going to be east of Argyle by approximately 3 miles. So this would be right along 81. That's near the town of Jordan. So just north of the town of Jordan by maybe 2 miles as well. And then there's another area of rotation. And I'm moving my map here so I can show both areas of rotation and try to zoom in as closely as I can as well. Another possible suspect area of rotation. Again, what we're looking at here, winds moving away from the radar, or excuse me, towards the radar, winds moving away from the radar. And what happens, as I mentioned before with my analogy, and that's right along Highway 78, Blanchardville, just west of Postville right now, there is rotation. This is where one area of suspect rotation that we were keeping an eye on. Jacob, if you don't mind, I'm going to toss over to you if you want to just do an overall analysis of the storms across southern Wisconsin. I'll check and see if we have any updates from the National Weather Service.
Unfortunately, my Max 1 system has just crashed. As you can see, I have a black screen behind us, but we are seeing two possible systems. Let me try to reboot it as I'm talking. We have two possible systems. The one right now in Lafayette County, moving into Dane County, kind of in the corner between Iowa, Dane, and Greene. But if we but there's also, I shouldn't say take a look because the system's down, but just to the south of our area, there is another severe thunderstorm warning. Yeah, here's the tornado warning right now impacting a lot of Lafayette, Greene, Iowa, and Dane County, moving to the northeast. No indication of a tornado yet, but as we mentioned, these spin-ups can be very quick, and there is some indication that there could possibly be some rotation. So here's a list. Oh, it looks like we went down again. I apologize. We have been having some technical difficulties over the weekend. So here's a look at some of the towns and locations that may be impacted by this system pretty shortly. Looks like my Max 1 system is back and running if you want to pull that up instead. I want to talk about the system to the south just for a moment. So zooming in, this is south of our border, south of Greene County, right near Freeport, Illinois. There is a possible, and now there's nothing indicating on wind tracker, but there is a possible hook near Freeport that does have me concerned just a little bit. This storm has not been extended into our area yet, but it is expected to impact probably eastern Greene County and western Rock County. These storms look like they're gonna field goal between Monroe, so you folks may be good from at least some of the severe weather. But going back north towards the tornado warning, once again, this system is moving to the northeast fairly slowly, slower than some of the other systems that have earlier in the day where they were moving upwards of 55 miles per hour. But here's a look at the towns that should be experiencing some of the rainfall pretty quickly. Actually, let me pull this up so you can see it. There we go. This is not just the tornado warning, but also areas that will experience, the heavy rain pretty soon. There's also some spotty showers already occurring across Dane County. So as we've been talking about since we've gone live, this system is tracking into Dane County. So those of you around Madison will likely see some very heavy rain from this system, if not possibly a small tornado. Again, let's take a look at the wind tracker once again. Still seeing those pretty gusty winds and a small sense of rotation. Again, right around here is our area of concern, as there is a contrast between the green and red, and that's where we look for to possibly indicate rotation. This is pretty wide though. Usually the rotation is a bit smaller. There is also an area of concern just to the east of Argyle, where we have some funky colors there, kind of producing a mixed bag of rotation. But even those that aren't seeing the rotation, 64 mile per hour wind speeds are possible with this system. That is the general severe thunderstorm warning. Let's take another look at the debris signature. Again, I don't want to focus too much on this because a lot of this could just be dust in the air, and also debris signatures can be really hard to read when you're this far from the radar. So a lot of the yellow you're seeing, probably just debris, nothing to indicate we have of a debris ball, as Alex was talking about earlier, which would indicate a tornado possibly on the ground. So once again, let's take a look at the full system. We have a tornado warning right now. Looks like it's moving into Dane County. At the very least, we are going to see, when I say we, I mean the areas around Madison, will see very heavy rain. And there's also that severe thunderstorm warning to the south of South Wisconsin and Illinois, moving towards Greene County, possibly going to impact portions of Rock County as well. And you also have very heavy rain and very consistent heavy rain to the north of Dane County, although a lot of this will likely not produce any severe thunderstorm warnings. But again, this system that has the tornado warning is moving off to the northeast. So possibly areas north of Madison may continue to see that severe storm kind of just linger into the later evening hours. As we look closer, this tornado warning, again, it is until looks like it's now until 8:30 p.m. for Dane, Greene, Iowa, and Lafayette. Looks like there's no concern of hail, which is good news. But for the entire severe thunderstorm warning, which is the entire yellow box right here, 60 mile per hour wind gusts are possible with this system. I'm going to send it back to Alex Harrington for some more updates.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jake. I'm going to do a recap of all of the severe warnings that we have currently right now. First, the tornado warning for southwestern portion portion of Dane County, northwestern Greene County, southeastern Iowa County, and the far northeastern portion of Lafayette County. This is until 8:30 p.m. As meteorologist Jacob Montesano was mentioning, this is radar indicated. Communities that may be in the path of this storm at this point in time would put this in Perry at 8:09 p.m., Cardinal Ridge at 8:12 p.m., forward at 8:13, and then heading towards New Glarus at around 8:24 over towards the town of Mount Vernon, and then Springdale as we head closer to 8:30, closer to when the potential expiration time would be of that tornado warned storm. There's a larger severe thunderstorm warning that extends for Dane, Greene, and Iowa counties. Again, this is radar indicated. All along this line, we have the potential for a spin up. So that's why it's showing tornado possible, with 60-mile-per-hour winds being the primary threat at this point in time. I'm going to actually go back to the tornado warned storm right now over portions of far northeastern Lafayette County and northwestern portions of Greene County. We'll take a look at our wind tracker tool again here to see if we have any updates on that and give you a bit better indication of where we could be possibly seeing some rotation. Again, I've been explaining this periodically. What we look for from a meteorological standpoint is winds that are moving towards the radar. So that would be moving towards Postville, Blanchardville. Then you have winds that are moving away from the radar. This would be Perry, right along 78, just west of Primrose. That's wind that's moving away from the radar. So when you have these winds moving in different directions, that tells us that from a radar standpoint that there could be the potential for some rotation, which would be right along Highway 39. This would be, and we'll track this here for you folks in terms of distances. This would be east of Hollandale by about 6 miles, south of Perry by about 3 miles, and west of New Glarus by approximately 5.6 miles. So this storm, again, moving off towards the north and east right now, and then entering the far southwestern portion of Dane County. Meteorologist Jacob Montesano has some additional information to share.
Yeah, I'll send it back to you in just a moment. I just want to point out that the severe thunderstorm that we've been talking about south of Wisconsin, that severe thunderstorm warning has been extended to include Greene and Rock County until 8:45. 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts are possible. Hail, not as much of a threat, but also a tornado can spin up. So looking further south, this is the system that we're talking about right here, just now to the north and west of Freeport, moving into Greene County, likely going to impact western Rock County as well. Those of you in Monroe, you are a part of the severe thunderstorm warning just on the western edge of it. I also want to take a second and remind everyone, for those that have been watching the whole time, to here are a few safety tips to keep you safe during tornadoes. Again, there isn't a tornado indicated right now, but it can spin up very easily. Right now, you should be in the center of the basement. If you don't have a basement, go to the interior room or a closet on the lowest floor. Cover yourself with pillows, cushions, or blankets, and also try to get out of a mobile home. Seek shelter in a nearby building. However, if it is already raining outside, I would say just try to stay put. We aren't expecting a large tornado, and at this moment, we are only looking at some minor rotation. Now, for those of you away from homes, if you're in a vehicle, try and get out and get into a sturdy nearby building. If a garage would be good as well, you can possibly stay in the car and just drive into the garage. If you're in a last resort, get into a ditch or buckle up and get down. I would suggest for this specific system, maybe just pull over to the side of the road and just try and wait out the rainfall, because the visibility is likely very bad. And again, we aren't seeing a specific tornado on the ground yet, just some minor rotation. For public buildings, get inside rooms. Away from windows are best, similar to inside a home, lowest, most interior portion. And large stores are also good places, you know, in small rooms though, and possibly even refrigerators or freezers. But again, we aren't expecting a large tornado, and right now we are only seeing some minor rotation. I'll send it back to Alex Harrington, who has more.
Yes, thanks, Jacob. We're tracking a couple of different severe warned storms right now. The tornado warned storm over portions of Dane, Greene, Iowa, and Lafayette counties. This would be just south and east of Blanchardville. This is a radar indicated tornado until 8:30. We have some communities that are in the path of this potential storm. Perry at 8:07 p.m., Cardinal Ridge at 8:11 p.m., Forward at 8:11 p.m., Monroe Clinic at 8:23 p.m., New Glarus at 8:23 p.m., and then Montrose here at 8:32 p.m. as this storm moves off again towards the north and towards the to east at about 25 miles per hour. I'm going to take a moment here briefly just to see if we have any updates here from the National Weather Service. We have a direct feed from them, and I see no additional information from them at this point in time. But I'm going to also widen things out here for just a moment. Meteorologist Jacob Montesano has been doing this periodically just to show folks where is this storm headed over the course of the next hour or so. And I'm going to mention another piece of information I think will be helpful for us to talk about. The storm is going to be moving off towards the north and towards the east at about 25 miles per hour. So if it holds itself together, that will bring that into the central portion of Dane County, closer to the Madison area. Hopefully the storm will weaken over time as it moves off towards the north and towards the east. I have some reason for the potential of weakening, and the reason is, I had mentioned this before, we're seeing a lot of scattered shower and thunderstorm activity popping up over portions of the rest of Dane County. And what this can do is this can kind of zap the atmosphere as that storm moves off towards the north and from the east. So any warmth, humidity that has been building over Dane County is eaten up by these showers and these thunderstorms that are popping up. So hopefully that will help reduce the intensity of this storm that's moving out of northeastern Lafayette County, the extreme southeastern portion of Iowa County, and the northwestern portion of Greene County. I'm going to take another peek here. We're going to zoom in just a little bit closer to where the potential for that rotation is. We've been tracking that over the course of the past 30 minutes or so here. We have a tool called the Wind Tracker. Our Wind Tracker tool on Radar 3000 gives us an idea of where are winds moving away from the radar versus where are winds moving towards the radar. So where winds are moving away from the radar, again, seems to be consistent with this storm moving off towards the north and towards the east. It's starting to bring this into southwestern portions of Dane County. So you've got broad winds moving away from the radar, which is in Milwaukee along 151, and then you have winds moving along Highway 39 just west of New Glarus. That is a very broad rotation signature. If there were to be any potential of rotation, that's going to put that between Highway 78 and Highway 92 between Perry and Primrose. This is, again, though, getting closer and closer to the Madison area. The tornado warning goes until 8:30 p.m. For the southwestern portion of Dane County, Greene County, Iowa County, and Lafayette County. Again, this would be the far northeastern portion of Lafayette County and the far southeastern portion of Iowa County, again, moving into Dane County. And as Jacob Montesano was mentioning before, again, this is not the time, this is nighttime, proper for us to just talk a bit about tornado etiquette. Getting in the center of the basement is best, away from windows. If you don't have a basement, get into the interior part of your house, lowest floor possible. You want to put as many walls between you and the potential of that possibility of a tornado. Again, we've had no confirmation of a wall cloud, no confirmation of a funnel cloud, no confirmation of a tornado. Cover yourself with pillows, cushions, or blankets. And then, of course, folks, if you are in a mobile home, if you have the opportunity to get out and seek shelter in a sturdy building, that is advised. If you don't have a sturdy building nearby, get out and get into the lowest possible profile that you can get, ideally in a dish. So, meteorologist Jacob Montesano, just out of curiosity, do you have any additional information on your end that you're gleaning?
No, but I can take the floor and give you a moment to breathe. As Alex has been mentioning, get into the interior portion of your home. If you are out and about, I would say if you're in a vehicle and you can't get into a garage or something, I would say stay put. Just maybe pull off on the side of the road, though. Visibility could be very bad right now in the heavy rainfall. And I do want to point out that if this tornado warning gets extended, this would include us. Now, for those of you that are wondering, shouldn't we take cover? Well, right now we're actually in the safest part of the studio. Now, we do have a few tornado shelters, but the studio is in a very central location of our entire building, and it's also on the lowest level. So just want to throw that out there. We would take the precaution, but we actually are in one of the safer spots in the building. So again, that is very possible if the tornado warning does include us. If you're home, again, stay in the lowest portion of your home. Try to stay away from any windows. And again, if you're out and about in a car, I would say right now the best idea is to pull over, simply because the visibility, I would say, in a vehicle is a little bit worse right now than the tornado threat. Looking more specifically at the wind tracker, again, still not seeing any strong indication of rotation, which is very good news, but we are still seeing some very gusty winds. Let me actually query some of these wind gusts. 38, sure I can find something more stronger than that. Looking up here, 47, a little stronger. This does indicate, though, that the system is weakening a little bit. Earlier, we had wind speeds, easily up to 55 and 60 miles per hour. There's also some gusty winds in the storm south. This is just to the south of Monroe. We're seeing some pretty strong winds with this system as well. 54 miles per hour there. Down south, 55 miles per hour. So there are two systems that we are kind of looking at right now. One where the tornado warning that's been our main focus, but there's also the system that's producing the severe thunderstorm warning for Greene and Rock County. The heavy rain looks like it's just now entering into Dane County. Looks like it's going to impact Madison within the next hour or so. Again, I would stay inside if you can, and even if the tornado does form and you want to see it, you won't be able to see it. It's too dark outside, so just stay inside if you are home, and if you're on the road, pull over and just wait the system out. I don't expect there to be a situation where you would need to get out and take shelter. I would say the visibility with the rainfall is probably worse for you folks. Now, okay, we just got an expansion of the severe thunderstorm warning. This does include all of Dane County. Let me query it and see. Yeah, still 60 mile per hour wind gusts, not as much of a hail, but again, tornado possible. That is why we are cutting in. We not only have the tornado warning, but within the severe thunderstorm warning, there is a tornado possible. So even if this expires, we still have a possibility of a quick tornado until 9 p.m. for Madison. This is for the entire population center. We are going to see some pretty heavy rain at the very least, but now we have the severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Madison and pretty much all the surrounding areas. Stay inside if you can. Good thing is that we're not dealing with a hail threat, but even with that wind threat of 60 miles per hour, we could be talking about some flying debris. Nothing extreme with 60 mile per hour wind gusts, but we could be talking about some sticks, leaves that could fall. I know when growing up, there was a simple storm like this that actually caused a tree branch to fall on my house. Just 60 mile per hour wind gusts, lightning struck it and it fell. So it's important just to stay inside. You never know what could happen when you're outside in this system, but staying inside keeps you much safer. So again, the tornado possibility is there. We actually are hearing some thunder right now, but right now we do not have an extension of the tornado warning, but there definitely could be. Let's send it over to meteorologist Alex Harrington for more.
Yeah, thanks, Jacob. We're having multiple alerts that are popping up across southern Wisconsin for this line of thunderstorms that has not had any reports to our understanding of severe weather, no hail, no damaging winds, no tornado reports at this point in time. I'm going to do a quick recap of all of the warnings that we have, some of the communities that are in the path of these storms, and then I'm going to just widen things out and take a look across the rest of southern Wisconsin to see if we have any other storms across the area. So first, that tornado warning for another 15 minutes for the southwestern portion of Dane County, the far north or the northwestern portion of Greene County. This would be Iowa County, far southeastern Iowa County, and Lafayette County as well. Then now we have the new severe thunderstorm warning that meteorologist Jacob Montesano was just mentioning as well. This is for Dane County. This would include City of Madison, Waunakee, Fitchburg, just north and west of Stoughton. This also include communities like Middleton as well. This is radar indicated winds of 60 miles per hour. It says tornado threat is possible. There is the potential for brief spin-ups with this line of thunderstorms. We have another severe thunderstorm warning that's still in effect until 8:45. This would be for the southwestern portion of Dane County, the rest of Greene County, extreme eastern portion of Iowa County. And because this storm is advancing towards the east, and we have another storm coming up out of northwestern Illinois, communities that are in the path of this storm just to the south of Madison, Montrose, Belleville, Verona at 8:25, Fitchburg at 8:27, just getting some updates there with our radar. And then again, one more severe thunderstorm warning that has just been issued until 8:45 p.m. This is again radar indicated tornado possible. 60 mile per winds is what we're really looking at here at this point in time. The hail threat appears to be severe at this point in time, meaning below an inch or below a quarter in size. Doesn't mean that there can't be the potential for hail, but that's not currently the primary hazard. I mentioned we're going to just do a little bit of a peruse around the rest of southern Wisconsin. So let's take a look at the rest of southern Wisconsin just to give you an idea of where this line of showers and thunderstorms is right now. This is approaching approaching Madison. But if you are west of Madison, Lone Rock, Platteville, if you're tuning in, Prairie du Chien, this line of thunderstorms is to the east of you. We'll put this into motion here over the course of the last hour to give you an idea. Where is this line of showers and thunderstorms going? It's moving to the east and to the east-northeast, and it'll be approaching again Madison here over the course of the next 30 minutes to the next 45 minutes. Will be then progressing towards the eastern portion of Dane County and then heading to the eastern portion of Greene County and then heading towards Rock County. So if you are dialing in right now or tuning in, if you're in Jefferson County, if you're in Janesville, this line of thunderstorms is heading in your direction. We can put our future track radar together here to show you where is this line of thunderstorms going over the course of the next hour. It's capturing this line of storms moving through Madison, and then we'll be progressing towards the east here over the course of the next hour or so. And then once we get past 9, 10 o'clock, that line of thunderstorms should be out of the area. So let's do one more recap here of some of our current warnings right now. That tornado warning is starting to be trimmed. This would be for the southwestern portion of Dane County and the northwestern portion of Greene County, where we have radar indicated tornado. And I'm going to actually do one of our tools that we use here is the wind tracker. Wind tracker is not looking, I'm not seeing anything very tight rotation anywhere in this tornado warned portion of the storm. Very broad, if anything at all. We have our debris chance. What we look for with our debris chance is there a tight consolidated area of blue? I don't see any of that with the storm right now off towards the south and west of Madison. So at this point in time, I have no suspect indication right now that there's tight area of rotation, if there's a wall cloud, if there's a funnel cloud, if there's a tornado. We have none of that information, meaning none of that has been reported, and that's certainly good news. Then most recently, we've had a severe thunderstorm warning now until 9 p.m. for Dane County. Again, this is for 60-mile-per-hour winds that would be coming in from the south and from the west, which we can take a quick peek at here as well. Our wind tracker is really just looking at raindrops, and these raindrops are moving towards the radar or away from the radar. Some of what we're seeing here, we can query this here, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit. The line of thunderstorms really starting to enter the southwestern portion of the Madison proper area. So some winds speeds that we could be looking at south of 151, 44-mile-per-hour winds just west of 92 near Primrose.
I say the system is weakening a little bit.
Yeah, thanks, Jacob. I would agree. Right now, all indications that we're seeing, even though our friends at the National Weather Service has Dane County under a severe thunderstorm warning at this point in time until 9 o'clock for 60-mile-per-hour winds, all of our indications right now with our radar tools is this is currently looking as though it's sub-severe. So, Jacob, if you want to add some additional analysis, I'll do some additional discovery here if we have anything else from our National Weather Service.
Yeah, and like we've been saying in terms of staying safe, different tornado warnings breed, different ways to stay safe. In this example, we believe that for those of you outside of your home, in a car, specifically in a car, we believe that the visibility from the rain is a bigger hazard than the tornado right now because we aren't really seeing any significant rotation on wind tracker. So for those of you in a car or for those of you that know someone that could be driving right now, I would suggest you possibly call them, tell them to just stay on the side of the road, let the storm pass. We aren't seeing any strong rotation. So my guess is we still aren't seeing any tornado on the ground, maybe some possible rotation near New Glarus right there, but again, still not a strong rotation. And as Alex showed the debris signature, also not seeing any indication of a tornado there. Now this up here, this is likely just the wind shifting from the storm entering the area. So although we are seeing some gusty winds with it, again, not seeing any threat of a tornado. So that's good. Once again, though, there is that second severe thunderstorm warning to the southeast. This includes Greene and Rock County. Could possibly be seeing 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts with this system. A brief tornado is possible. So we've been talking about ways to stay safe. Here are the tips once again for those of you just joining us. For those of you inside your home, the rules to stay safe inside a home don't change depending on the system. Center the basement. If you don't have a basement, possibly an interior room or on the lowest level. Possibly get some pillows or blankets to cover yourself with. Now, if you're in a mobile home, I would say just stay put right now. Usually, if there is a tornado on the ground, we would suggest you possibly seek stronger shelter if you have time. But again, still not indicating strong rotation. So although there may be a a small funnel cloud. We still have no we have no data to suggest there is a tornado, but again, still going to see plenty of rainfall. And again, for those of you possibly not in your homes and you're in a car, just pull off to the side of the road and wait it out. But again, just try and stay inside. Do not go outside. There could be some flying debris with the 60-mile-per-hour wind gust that we're expecting with the storm alone. Let's send it back to meteorologist Alex Harrington for more.
Yeah, thanks, Jacob. As we continue to track here the tornado-warned storm for the southwestern portion of Dane County and the northwestern portion of Greene County, just getting some updates from the National Weather Service. They are still suggesting that the thunderstorm is still capable of producing a tornado, which would be located near Blanchardville or 12 miles south of Mount Horeb, moving northeast at 25 miles per hour. And we can show that here with our wind tracker. Blanchardville is here to the southwest. Now, this storm has moved off towards the north and towards the east. And again, 12 miles south of Mount Horeb. Again, that would put this near Blanchardville and then just off towards the east. This would be west of Belleville. Not seeing, though, according to our wind tracker, I'm not seeing what we would see tight green against tight red at this point in time, which would be suspect of the potential for a tornado. I don't see anything as I look at our debris chance, anything that is that tight consolidated blue ball that might be suggesting that if there was a tornado and if debris was lofted, meaning objects of different sizes, I don't see that at all with our debris signature. So again, that storm that's over portions of southwestern Dane County, we just still have that tornado warning until 8:30 p.m. northwestern Greene County. But the good news is, as I was mentioning, our friends at the National Weather Service are not passing along any information of, and I'm going to do just a quick take here. In fact, 8:23 p.m., 8:24, our systems might be updating here just a little bit behind, but it does look as though that the tornado warning, and this is great news for Dane County and Greene County, will be allowed to expire at 8:30 p.m. So we've got about 6 minutes here. That's showing up on our screen over here because that's still 6 minutes away. Anticipate this red triangle to eventually go away. But the National Weather Service, great news here to point out for Dane County and Greene County as this storm is moving towards the northeast, will be allowed to expire at 8:30 p.m. This tornado threat is diminished according to the National Weather Service, and that corroborates exactly what you can be Dr. Jacob Montesano, meteorologist Jacob Montesano, and I have been analyzing with our radar tools, but it sounds like you have some updates.
Yeah, since we likely are going to stop the wall-to-wall coverage pretty shortly if this tornado warning does expire, I just want to recap everything that we're seeing, both from the warnings and rainfall. Seeing some showers, some heavy to the east of Dane County. Heavier showers are to the north of Dane County, but these are not producing any severe thunderstorm warnings. We still have the severe thunderstorm warning with 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts possible, and this is for Madison and surrounding areas, so a lot of people will be affected by this severe thunderstorm warning. And there's another one to the south, which includes Greene and Rock County. Also could possibly see 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts with this system. A brief tornado is possible, but as we've been talking about, all the spin-ups we're seeing are very minor, nothing to indicate a tornado on the ground, but we're still going to see that heavy rain for the next 30 minutes to an hour. And right now, although we have the severe thunderstorm warning, it is important to point out it is the lower threshold of a severe thunderstorm warning. But again, stay inside. There could still be some, trees or branches that could fall or possibly blow in the 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, so it's important to stay inside. But if you take the precautions, everything should work out okay. Let's send it back to meteorologist Alex Harrington for more.
Yeah, so again, good news from the National Weather Service. Tornado warning for southwestern Dane County and the northwestern portion of Greene County will be allowed to expire in exactly 4 minutes. I just want to take us right down the leading edge of this line of thunderstorms, communities that may be impacted. If you haven't been tuning in and are just tuning in, I want to just do a tour here on Radar 3000. Communities that are impacted by this leading edge of this line of thunderstorms that have prompted severe thunderstorm warnings and tornado warnings, but we've had no confirmation of reports of anything at this point in time. So this would include communities like Middleton, just west of Madison, just west of Shorewood Hills. Moving down the line here, Verona. Right now with our radar, where you see the red just west of Verona, that line of showers and thunderstorms. Again, severe thunderstorm warning until 9 o'clock for Dane County is just now approaching the community of Verona. So along Highway 151, again, areas near Verona, that line of thunderstorms is near, if not already on you. This would also be just to the west of Fitchburg by approximately 2 miles. Again, I'm just going down this line of thunderstorms to give all communities some heads up if you're just tuning in. Town of Paoli. So we continue to move down that line of thunderstorms. Belleville, that line of thunderstorms again is nearing you, although some of the heavier returns, meaning some of the heavier precipitation, is well off to the north and towards the west at this point in time. And then again, scooting down the line of thunderstorms that stretches really from Dane County down through Greene County, eastern Lafayette County, the far eastern portion of Iowa County, taking us down to Monticello, and then just south and west of Albany. So it sounds like Jacob Montesano has some information to add. Again, our tornado warning should be allowed to expire here in 2 minutes, and then we may take a break to get you back to regular programming for a period of time, unless we have some new updates.
Yeah, we'll send you back to regular programming in just a moment. Just here's one final look at some of the communities that are expected to see the heavy rain, possibly the 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts that are embedded in the thunderstorm. Should reach Madison by around 8:50 to 8:55, although because the system's moving fairly slowly, western portions of Madison may see it a bit earlier than eastern portions. Zooming further down with the second severe thunderstorm, again, mostly in Greene County, passing into Rock County by around 8:45 p.m. We are going to see some very heavy rain at the very least with this system, so visibility will be pretty down. As we've been talking about, those of you that are possibly inside a vehicle or know someone that is driving right now, probably call them and suggest that they just pull to the side of the road, because right now the biggest hazard for them is the visibility. And for those of you inside a home, stay inside. We could be seeing some possible debris from the 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts that could cause some damage. So staying inside your home is the best option. Looks like we're going to see that heavy rain hit Madison very shortly. But again, the tornado warning is set to expire. Let me send it over to meteorologist Alex Harrington for anything before we can send back to regular programming.
Yes, thanks so much, Jacob. We'll do just an overall overview so that folks can see larger across all of southern Wisconsin what's going on right now. We have that line of thunderstorms that's prompting now severe thunderstorm warnings stretching from Dane County down to Greene County and eventually over towards Rock County. Damaging winds to 60 miles per hour would be the primary threat from this line of thunderstorms. There is the potential for a brief spin up, but we've seen with looking at our wind tracker, we haven't seen any tight areas of rotation and no reports of tornadoes. There still is that tornado watch for areas for Madison and points off towards the south and east towards Janesville till 10 o'clock. Again, what we're seeing in this portion of southern Wisconsin, we've had warm, humid air drawn in, and that allows the fuel for these showers and for these thunderstorms. But at this point in time, we're not getting any new information here from the National Weather Service about any reports. No severe reports right now. The only report we're getting here right now may be the size of marbles. So at this point in time, folks, what we're going to do is we're going to send you back to regular programming. And if conditions change as the storm moves into Madison and to other communities, Monroe, Beloit, and Janesville, if we need to break in, we will do so.